There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of the FlappCast.
FlappCast.
Behind the funny.
Behind the funny.
We talk about what goes on behind the scenes at a comedy club. And we have our headliner, Jimmy Shubert, who's going to be performing at Flappers on March 21st.
Yes.
Credits.
So you're not going to introduce me at all? I'm nothing. I'm nothing.
Today is a strange day.
Jesus,
and
you
then
have a
there's
very needy sidekick.
my sidekick
Very
over
needy.
there.
God forbid.
Chime in now, Mr.
Joshua Snyder.
Joshua Snyder's
Not
here.
Snyder.
No,
Schneider.
No, it's the other way around.
Not Schneider?
Yes.
I'm totally harassing you.
Schneider.
Yes.
Joshua Snyder.
Just remember
Snyder.
nerdy virgin.
Snyder.
Nerdy virgin.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you could teach him a few things. Whoa. Oh, all right. Anyway, this is an odd start.
He's a virgin, correct?
Yes.
I believe he's a virgin.
Yes.
I'm right here.
And how old are you?
32.
And you're a virgin?
Yes.
It's true.
There's nothing I can teach a guy. You've wasted your best years. I mean, you know, I'm sorry. You're gonna what are you gonna put training wheels on that thing for you? Come on. What are you doing? I mean, has your penis filed a restraining order against your right hand yet? They say you're a virgin. When you say a virgin, it means you haven't been with another woman. You haven't been with a woman, period, right?
Correct.
Wow! Wow! No wonder I've been screwing women for two. No, why you really? That to me, it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Have you ever known a 32-year-old virgin?
No, I don't.
Hang out with them.
Look, you know, but I bet you can tell me every character in Star Trek, though, right?
Yes.
Kirk Spock.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What was what character did Liam Neeson play in Star Wars?
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Okay, cool. Now, I can tell you the different.
Now, the listeners didn't hear why we're talking about Liam Neeson. Can we say? Will you have an audition?
I
for
do. No, I
something?
have an audition on Friday for Taken 3.
Wow.
Yeah, love it, man. I love that. I love that series, man. I love the.
Do you know what role?
If you don't get
No,
that,
I don't. I just got the phone call. I'll be right
Yeah.
before we get on the air. So I'm just confirming the audition for Taken 3 at 11:45.
yes, if you're
on Friday.
listening, perfect.
Yes,
Liam
I'm in.
Neeson, hottie.
Yeah, Liam Neeson,
Action
6'4", 64-year-old action star.
That's good.
And every woman that travels should learn to say, "My father is Liam Neeson," in at least every language of every country you're going to.
Wow, impressions.
I don't really do that many impressions,
I know.
but I could do Liam Neeson. I just want to, you know, I like to mess around like Tony Soprano. You got to put up with your nasal cavity. I want the chicken dead, or his family dead. I mean, if it's just close enough so they could fit in the bit, then I could pull it off.
I was going to say, isn't that you anyway? Did that sounded like you?
No, but I'm trying to like do it close enough Tony Soprano so that people in the audience can get it. You know, I want the chicken dead. You know, you got to put it up there. I don't really do impressions because everybody I do sounds like me. I get this gravelly voice. I sound like a gravel gargle. I only do 2 impressions, and this joke is completely just for Josh. I do 2 impressions. I do Abraham Lincoln. I do the real one, and I do the one from Star Trek. See, I knew he would get that because while I'm out there being balls deep in vagina, he is at home working on his comic book collection and watching Star Wars movies. No, I'm kidding.
It's about on par. Now you're not kidding. That's the truth.
Well, you know, there's a little funny in the truth.
Have you literally been balls deep? Like literally, can you get the balls in as well?
Dude,
please, let's not get graphic
let's
here.
not take
All
the
right.
Flappers podcast. Well, this
No.
is PG-13.
Yeah.
This is family entertainment, Josh. All right?
This is about what goes on
Try to keep it
behind
above
the
board,
scenes.
all right?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, this makes sense, though. It is behind the scenes.
It is
or
behind
beneath
the
the
scenes.
sheets, are we talking about?
No, it's just behind the scenes. But you know what the thing?
I get applause for that?
No,
wow. that was odd. All right.
Yeah, it was a weird
very
sound
strange.
effect. Anyway, the point is he wanted to. What was the question you were asking, Josh?
What was the question I was asking?
It was about, he doesn't know because he's never done it. It was about the actual act of the,
yeah.
but...
Well, it was before the balls deep question.
Right.
We should probably ask a legitimate question.
Well, I'm going to ask some questions. This guy's been on every TV show. I mean, if you don't know who Jimmy Shubert is, I mean, you've seen King of Queens, Entourage,
Reno 911.
Reno Not Lucky.
A couple episodes of ER, Lucky, the
Loop.
pilot for Lucky, The Loop.
Jeez, what am I missing? Cut Off? Oh, that's a film with Faye Dunaway.
No, it's a film with Faye Dunaway and James. Rocco, I think his name was. You know, you see these guys that did a movie. That was a pretty cool movie that I did with. I play a cop and now I'm a detective. I always play cops. I always play detectives. Because my father was a detective and I have detective eyes. And when I ask you a question, you want to tell me the truth.
Mostly comedic roles or dramatic roles or a little both?
No, I do. They're most all of it's serious drama. I'm not a goofy guy. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't. You know, I just saw a thing with Jeff Daniels on the Actors Studio, and he said whether it's drama or whether it's comedy, there's no change in it. Your commitment to it is to play it serious, because in a comedy, the funny will come out of the seriousness and situation comedy, or a drama, it's the same way. I mean, I could be. I think I do. I think drama is kind of something I do better than comedy. Yeah, I don't know why. I do stand-up. I'm a great, I do stand-up comedy, but that's not comedic acting,
So you were a comedian first. You're a stand-up comedian through and through,
no,
right?
No, you know me, Barb. Would you say I'm a true blue stand-up comedian? I mean, I love being a stand-up comedian. I mean, I love
you're
making
a comic.
No, I'm not a comic. A comic says funny things. A comedian says things funny. I'm definitely a comedian.
I've never heard that before. That's interesting.
That is that?
Where's that
That's the truth. That's the truth. No, that is true.
Yeah.
A comic will say funny things, and a comedian says things funny, which means a comedian's more of a personality, more of a character kind of thing. You know what I mean? So. And
therefore can cross over into all the acting.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, so you're saying a comic is more like a one-liner guy, or something?
Yeah, like a one-liner guy. You watch the difference is when you watch a comic, what was that guy's name? He did the joke about the thing. I can't remember. And then a comedian, you feel like you spend an evening with somebody watching a personality. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. I don't know. That's what I've always been told, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, you have that real likability. Don't people come up to you after shows all the time and think that they're totally your buddy?
Well, yeah, because people always come up to me and go, "You remind me of a guy I grew up with. I know a guy exactly like you. You could be my brother-in-law." And so there's a familiarity to who I am. But I mean, I grew up with 5 brothers. I'm a very kind of down-to-earth guy. Like, I'm very approachable, unless you're an a-hole, and then I want to get away from you as fast as possible. But I've seen it in other comedians that they're almost. I mean, I'll sit and talk with comedians all night because they understand what this. But when you get near civilians, hey man, spilling beer all over you. Hey man, you're gay. Great, and sleep. Yeah, I don't want to. I love doing it. I love making people laugh. It's my favorite sound in the world. I still have a real passion for it. After doing it for 25 years, I would say.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long. I mean,
you just look 25.
I use a lot of skin cream.
Where did you start?
Philly.
In Philly, in Philadelphia. I started in Philadelphia. Actually, I started doing magic when I was 9. And by the time I was 15, I've been really kind of attacked it. And by the time I was 15, I was an accomplished professional magician. I had doves. I had a full stage show. And I would go down and do I would do the Children's Hospital in the city of Philadelphia, which is a great one of the best hospitals in the country for children's medicine. And we would always go down there, and I would put on magic shows for the kids. And me and my buddy, and that's really where I fell in love with, performing and stuff, because those kids just absolutely loved it. And, they would hang out with them. And then out of that, there was a lot of, a lot of these black nurses that worked there would bring me and book me into their church events, these black churches in West Philadelphia, in some of the worst areas of Philadelphia. And my dad would have to drive me in this beat-up pickup truck with me in my tuxedo, and my dad was a homicide at that Philadelphia homicide detective. So my dad, my mom, I didn't believe it. No, my dad was my dad. Well, in other words, saying there was no stage mom. All right, my dad's driving me to these gigs
with his badge.
Well, no, he said, yeah. But my dad was, at that point he's probably a homicide detective for probably 15 plus years. I mean, he knew that area and that area, so it was better for him to take me down there because he worked in those areas. Yeah, there's some areas of Philadelphia you don't want to go into.
Did he teach you how to read people as a homicide?
No, what he used to let me listen. He would come in, and I would be in there, and he goes, "I want to play you something." He would play me a tape of when he wore a wire, and he talked to an informant. And this guy was a junkie who was stealing, and he was wearing this wire, but he wanted to get him to snitch on his buddies, which he did. But
And he goes, and I asked him what the thing is. Yeah, and about an hour later, I was in the vice president of Coca-Cola's office on an unrelated matter, investigating something else. But he was just the way he could talk to that guy and talk to that guy with no difference in, you know, you just gotta meet them on their level or whatever. But yeah, a lot of stuff like that. And plus, you know, coming down for breakfast, you know, if Pops was working on he had a typewriter there and he was filling out the stuff, you would see the crime scene photos, and you realize that, you know, you watch T.J. Hooker, and you know, you live with Lieutenant Columbo, and you see these crime scene photos, and you go, you know, wow, you realize people were capable. It wasn't no joke. In other words, it didn't always end like that, but you'd see these things, and you'd explain some stuff to you. Yeah.
Is that why you went into comedy, or no? Did you feel like?
No, I just went into comedy because it was just it was just a natural inclination. Yeah. I mean, I'm from Philadelphia. My dad was a homicide detective. My mom was a teacher. You know, my brothers are kind of you know, blue-collar guys that run their own companies. I mean, there's no way I should have been in show business, period, but that was just something I always gravitated towards. When I was in Philadelphia, I went to the Philadelphia High School for Creative and Performing Arts, and I majored in drama, so every day I had, you know, you had your Spanish classes, your math classes, your algebra, and then you have 3 drama classes, which were, you know, voice projection and scene study and these different classes. And I went down there for a couple of years, and then I transferred back up to, you know, Catholic high school, because I was thinking about going to college for the program. But after spending a semester in college, I realized that it was not going to teach me what I wanted to do, which was go be a stand-up comedian. So it's just one of those things you just had to go out and do. And I thought if I went to school, I was really kind of wasting my time, but this is what I was going to do. And I was fortunate enough that I got into this, I think. I mean, everybody's doing it, but back then it didn't seem like that at all. So,
who was on the podcast that was talking about Jimmy was performing in Philadelphia? Remember, in the club?
Oh, God.
What comedian was that was just here? Someone was here who, a young comic. It wasn't Ty, no.
Was it Cash? It wasn't Cash.
Maybe it was Cash
Okay.
Levy. Do you remember Cash Levy?
yeah, no Cash.
And he was talking about early days.
Oh, Hahn. I think it was Greg.
Greg
Greg
Hahn,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
That's
when
right.
he
In
started
Florida.
doing comedy.
Yeah, in Florida. And he said, you remember when
He
you
was
came
looking
in?
up to
Mike,
you.
He was at a mic that you were at. It was like you and I think Mitch Hedberg showed up or something.
Yeah,
He was
you know,
like a young guy.
Mitch was definitely, well, it was actually in Boca Raton. There was a club called Haggerty's, and Sam had died, and I was playing that club before, but yeah, guys like Hahn and Mitch, and you know, I was actually already headlining at that point at those clubs, where I was going from feature act to headliner, you know, so you were getting these gigs where that would let you headline, and you did it in these like B rooms and C rooms in Florida, that, you know, in those rooms I was a headliner at that time.
Oh, well, I think, I mean, of course you're a headliner, but you're so much more. I mean, you really have a persona about you, and it's you. It's like, it's really Jimmy Shubert. You know, that's what I was saying, that buddy thing, that kind of like guy next door. After I watch you on stage, I always just want to come up and give you a big hug. Like, you're just, you know, such a fun guy to hang around with and be with. And
that is very lovely of you to say that. I appreciate it. Thanks. You know, well,
you get that from everybody.
No, but I also grew up like that. I mean, I got a lot of my dad's an old school guy. My brothers were, you know, this kind of like I grew up in a man's code. You know, you're not a douchebag. You know, if you know, someone could walk up and punch you in the face if you're an asshole. Yeah. So you know.
But yet on stage you do say things that kind of are very, how do I say it, brash?
Well, I don't have a filter on me, and nor do I want one.
Right.
Look, I mean, I just was saying this to somebody else. It's like people like, you know, there's the wording, like, you know, like, oh, you can't call somebody fat now because, oh, you're going to hurt their feelings. I'm not going to say, what am I supposed to say? You're you know, gravitationally challenged. Look, I get it. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but don't try to tie my hands behind my back with language either. I mean, you know, my comedy hero was George Carlin, and I love the way Carlin played with language and took things apart and put them back together, and that's what I like about it. So when people start putting restrictions, you can't say fag. Well, what am I going to say? He's phallically dependent? I mean, you know, what do you want me to say? I just don't want to, you can't, these are just words, things you're saying. I mean, people take this stuff personally. I wasn't thinking about you when I wrote it. Okay, you know, but please, but you know, but everybody likes to get into the feigned anger, hurt feelings business now. It's like, oh, I can't believe you said that. My feelings are hurt. Well, you know what? Suck it.
Okay? Suck it and get over yourself. I'm just doing a show. I don't do jokes about rape or cancer or any of that shit. I'm just trying to make people laugh and doing the best way I can with the diminishing intelligence level, you know.
So you have a bunch of stuff on, of course, traveling and all that TSA stuff, which I love.
Yes, because I travel.
Yes.
Quite frequently. I just got back from China. I was on touring Asia.
Ooh.
I'm huge in China. Physically.
Yes.
I'm massive in China. Huge. No, I was just over in, my tour started on February 13th. I flew to Tacoma. I did three nights up there. We did 5 shows. Sunday I flew to Hong Kong. I landed in Hong Kong for one night. And then I flew to Singapore, which is 4 hours away. I did a Tuesday night show and a Wednesday night show. Flew back to Hong Kong on Thursday. I did a show Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in Hong Kong. I took a hydrofoil across the harbor. It's one of those boats with the blades on it, and we went to Macau, which is like the Las Vegas of the Orient. Absolutely phenomenal.
They have gambling?
They do. That's all they have. Why else would you go there? But it's fantastic. And then after spending one night there, I took the hydrofoil back straight to the Hong Kong airport, flew to Shanghai, and then spent one night there. And then Tuesday we took a bull train out to Nanjing, which is an interesting place. It used to be a capital, but in 1945 an incident happened called the Rape of Nanjing, and you should Google that shit because it's actually very disturbing. I can't believe that I've never heard about it before, but they have a museum there, and I don't recommend going to see the museum before you do comedy, but it's absolutely every bit as what happened in the Holocaust in Germany. It's every bit as bad as that. Then next day we got up, took the bullet train down to Hangzhou. And, it's an expat community, English-speaking Americans, Canadians, Australians that love American stand-up comedy, and there's nothing else for them to do. So we did Hangzhou, same thing, jumped on a bullet train the next day, took that about an hour up to Suzhou, which is supposed to be like the Venice of China.
I've never even heard of these places.
Well, but, get outside Burbank, Bart.
Wait, was this
There's a whole world out there.
Was this military?
No, this is clubs.
Really?
I'm an American dude touring China.
Who'd have thunk?
Who'd have thunk it? So then we go to Suzhou, which is like the Venice of China. But anybody who's been to Venice would never call it that. But there's underground aqueducts and all this ancient, water navigation system they have there. And then I went down to Shanghai, which is a very cosmopolitan city. Very cool. Had a kick-ass hotel room. It was like almost 2 giant rooms, and then I hung out there. Did 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and then Sunday I just kind of chilled out there and hung out. I'd done so much traveling, I had to replace my suitcase. My suitcase was torn, so I had to go down to the black market and get another.
Ooh, did you get a good deal?
Of course I got a good deal, man. Who do you think you're dealing with? Joey Potatoes? I don't have a
Yeah, give me that shit or else, right?
Yeah, no, I do the walk away. That's my thing. Too much. I want to be over here. I mean, you're walking in a giant mall, and they almost all sell the same stuff. It's like luggage store, electronic store, luggage store. So if you aren't going to give me the deal I want, I'm going to go right down here. I understand that. So, but yeah, and then I flew back to Hong Kong for one night, and I went to the Peak, but it was very foggy, so I couldn't get the picture of that. There's a very, when you look down on the city, it's supposed to be fantastic. But we had a great dinner, and the guys that run the club over there, Jameson Gong and Andy Curtin and Turner Sparks, and this kid I met in Singapore runs a 2-night-club there, and now I'm buddies with these guys. I can't wait to go back. It's a lot of fun.
What was the language situation? Like, was there
Well,
any
I do what I
issues?
do.
You do it in Chinese or what?
Ni Chi no Fai La Ma. Ni Chi no Fai La Ma. Ni Hao Ma. Ni Chi Xie Xi Ni. No.
What does that mean?
That means thank you.
Oh, it's kind of long for thank you.
Ni Chi no Fai La Ma is have you eaten yet? But they do that. They it's like how they greet each other over there. It's like Ni Chi no Fai La Ma. That's how if you were
Just hi, have you eaten yet? That's it?
Yeah,
That's how
it's kind of like
That sounds Jewish. Have you eaten yet?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then when you're eating, it means what are you thinking about having for the next meal? That's Jewish. I've eaten with Jewish people. They sit down for breakfast and they're already talking about lunch. Okay, let's go, wrap it up. But yeah, it's no language barrier. They're Americans. They're over there for 2 years.
teaching English to the Chinese. I've met an Irish guy who was over there working on his master's for his Chinese philosophy. There's another kid that's over there doing an intern at a very large law firm in China. I mean, you meet all kinds of people. Some people just, most of them are teachers, but there's also English-speaking Chinese that understand pretty well. It's like, you know what it is? It's like they just love it. They love that you came there, and and I've experienced this around the world in the many places I've been. They just have an appreciation for the art form because, stand-up comedy, like jazz music, is a uniquely American art form. So the internet, and you look at YouTube, and they see it done on video, and then, you go over there to perform it, and it's kind of like, you try to be a good ambassador to stand-up comedy, because everywhere you go, in Singapore, Hong Kong, and Shanghai, there are open mic scenes in all those places. Wow. You would be amazed. There's an open mic scene in Beijing. It's amazing. Comics are like cockroaches. They're all over the place. I mean, but it is. They kind of dig it. It's like, it's like they have the excitement level like it's 1982. For comedy,
So did someone from here travel with you, or did they have
Nope.
Chinese stand-up openers?
I told you, everywhere you go, there's opening acts. They all got about 10 minutes, but that's all they got. But they'll go up and do. They'll put two guys up, do 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and then you go up and do an hour, a hardcore, straight-up hour.
They needed you to fill the time. Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
Right.
First off, I have to tell you, the hospitality is world class. You're staying in great hotels. I didn't pay for anything. They wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me pay for my meals. They wouldn't let me pay for my drinks. They just wouldn't let me. I got 3 suits made in Hong Kong. Plus, I got one of those old school white tuxedo coats made from scratch. So I got 3 suits and a white tuxedo jacket, which looks like, the old 1950s look with but I got a couple suits made in Hong Kong, like James Bond. I knew a great tailor in Hong Kong.
That was a little bit of Liam Neeson and James Bond.
Yeah, it was James Leeson.
James Leeson.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, yeah.
Well, so, we have a friend who owns a club in Bangladesh, I was telling you about. So Dave, my partner, went over there.
Yeah, I know. He was telling me he was over in
We got to
Bangladesh.
send you there next.
Yeah, and he came up in a cow suit, and a lot of the villagers burned it to the ground. He offended the entire village
You know the story.
by coming up
All
there
right.
with a cow suit.
Well,
Who does that? Who does it?
Dave Bryant.
That's why he burned down the joint. Shut it down. They put sanctions on him. He was lucky to get out of the country, but he lost the cow suit in the process.
Well, so what was there stuff like that going on in China? I mean, they don't have to pay
It's no different.
taxes or
No, it's no
per
different.
tickets or anything
No,
like that.
yeah, it's no different really. I mean,
Yeah.
the scene's growing over there, and you think about it, there are 1.4
Right.
billion Chinese people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's for every Chinese guy. There's 9 Chinese guys. That's how many Chinese people. Every time I stick my hand in my pocket, I was shaking hands with a Chinese guy. There are a lot of Chinese people, and they have no regard for your personal space. The door's open. Everybody's on their own. It's no joke. No. I tried to learn the word please in Mandarin, but there's no such word. But yeah, it just.
Do they actually bow?
No.
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 That's a myth.
No.
They don't. Is that? Am I sounding racist right now? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you just call them Orientals while you're at it? Huh?
Oh boy, here we go.
No, I'm just,
All right.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
gonna ask a question. It's gonna be a subject change, if that's all right.
Cool.
Is
Let's
that
change the
good?
subject.
Okay,
All
we're gonna
right.
do that.
Out of Asia.
Let's get Barb out of this situation she wound up getting herself in.
I'm curious to know, because I'm a huge fan of your therapy cat bit. And
Yeah.
I'm curious what your writing process is like. Do you write on stage? Do you sit at home and write it out and then try it on
Well,
stage?
you want to know? I'm going to tell you the truth. I got upgraded. I was flying a United flight, and they upgraded me to first class. And I go, right, awesome. And I'm sitting in first class, and I hear this woman behind going, oh, yeah, baby, oh, yeah. There must be a kid behind me. Next thing you know, my throat starts getting itchy, my eyes are starting to water and scramble. What the fuck is... I go, I bet you she's got a goddamn cat. And I turn around, and she's got a cat in a bag. Now, That's all that happened. That's all that happened. But I've seen this alarming trend with people who feel the need to go on eBay and buy fake documents for their animals. To say, this is my service dog. Really? Ain't there a lot of pit bulls? Are they making service dogs? I'm called bullshit on that. No. But I see this is an alarming trend, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit. You don't want to pay the extra $75 for the animal to travel underneath the plane, or you don't want to pay to board it. Okay? It's not a petting zoo. It's a fucking airplane. And I'm tired of these people who can't keep their shit together for 2 fucking hours. We're going to Seattle, bitch. 2.5 hours. Okay? Try to hold it together. Sorry. Didn't mean to get, but it's just, traveling is stressful enough as a person, as a human being. And I've, traveled all over the world, and it's just stressful. Why you would do that to a cat, an animal that freaks out over a fucking vacuum cleaner. I mean, I just started thinking about all these things. How the fuck do you think he's going to do in a 747? It's like, cats on a plane. They're just freaking out everywhere. So I just started thinking about it, and I just thought it's inconsiderate. I mean, people are allergic to cats. I'm sorry you're scared to fly. Guess what? I'm scared to fucking fly. You know what? The pilot's scared to fly, okay? We're all scared to fly, okay? It's unnatural. Why would you drag a cat into that situation? Anyway, that's kind of like with the voice inside my head. I just let you hear it, this internal dialogue that I have, and then I go, even you can't really say that, and then I figure out a way. My process is to put all that down on a big piece of paper, and it starts out almost like a lecture, and then I kind of cut it back and pick the funniest parts of it and try to put it together into a bit, and that's how I work. And then once I got the bit down to where you can do it, and it seems to me like I know what I am. I mean, I know how I kind of present myself, so it's easy for me because I've been writing for myself for 20 years. You're just trying to figure out, and usually the topic, I mean, the conjoinal twin bit that I do, that's on my Comedy Central special, I mean, that bit wrote itself in 4 days. It was just a natural thought process. Well, what's that like? I felt bad. And literally was my thought process, but what if, you guys have nothing in common, and you got a fucking conjoinal twin, and one twin likes to stay up all night snorting blow and drinking beers and banging hookers, and you have a job at the bank. You gotta be there at 8 o'clock. You mind showering? I don't want to show up smelling like a hooker's ass. We got a very important meeting today. I mean, I just started thinking of all these scenarios, and it's like, it's like one of the 8 comedy formulas. You almost over-exaggerate to like the 10th power, then work it back to a reasonable, believable kind of timeline. On some bits, other bits just kind of like, I always find the bits that are the funniest seem to be the easiest. I mean, I was literally sitting at breakfast at Hugo's, and they really do have a thing on the menu called the protein scramble, which is an egg omelet with chunks of chicken meat in it. And I'm going, that's... Really? You don't, do that. Why would, and then I started, and then again, my mind started going, what are you taking the eggs out of a chicken and then cooking a chicken and putting the eggs in it, You're killing the goose that lay the eggs. What are you doing? You get more eggs out of this guy, but it's crazy. But I just, I've been doing it so long, my mind just, it's like, when you train to do something, my mind just takes a premise and just kind of dissects it, and I get a great, there's a thing out called Roger Van Owick's Whack Pack, and there's an application, and I find it tremendous, like when you're stuck writing a bit, or like if you look at it from, if you're trying to present it, look at it from the exact opposite way, or look at it from this way, and it gives you, and that's really been helpful. That creative whack pack is great for writing, or looking at things differently than you would normally look at them. It forces you, but that's really sometimes where you find the comedy gold.
Do you actually remember any of your first jokes, and do you still
Yeah, I
use
have a
any of them?
videotape of my first couple times doing stand-up, and it's disturbing to watch. Yeah, because I just like as a kid, you know, like, hey man, I got this, you know, I mean, it's kind of funny. Everybody else just laughs hysterically because I don't have the voice I have now, or comedically or otherwise, but. You know, it's.
You mean puberty or what?
Yeah, like I'm 17.
Yeah.
You know, I can't believe it. I used to I sound like Vinnie Barbarino. I'll tell you something else, right? You know, and it's just, you know, you're in Philadelphia and you do it. And some of, I actually had like the first 3 times I went on stage, I had it on videotape, and the one set's atrocious. And they're all atrocious, to tell you the truth. I mean, I didn't know, but at least I kept those videotapes. I mean, how many people, it's, you know, it's kind of cool.
Are there any ideas or concepts though that you had at that time that
absolutely.
you still developed?
Yeah, absolutely. You could see it then. It just wasn't as formed as it is now. And my character clearly was not defined. I don't think I became funny until I was doing stand-up for about 9 years. I mean, I was funny enough, but I really kind of found my voice about 9 years in. And I did that because I took a job at that comedy club in Florida. I was dating a girl, and I didn't want to always be on the road, so I took a job as a house MC, which paid pretty much the same money to headline because you were there 6 nights a week. You'd get there, you'd seat the audience, you'd go up and you'd do 25 minutes, the featurette would go up, you'd go up and do another 15, and the headliner would go up. And it was back in the days, they didn't give a shit. If the audience was staying and drinking, they weren't going to close down the show. So the longer show for them, the better. So, you know, I met a lot of guys doing that. And also, you were doing the same club, so you had to write constantly. And I would sit down with a couple other guys, and we would set neg timer, and whatever came up during that half hour was mine, and then it would be the other guy's turn, but you had to find the right 3 guys so no one would drop the ball. Everybody would keep contributing as much for everybody else's turn. But that's when I started writing like that and working like that and doing it every night is when I really kind of found my voice. But it was just I'd been doing it long enough and had enough confidence that I gave myself permission to be who I authentically am, really, you know, is what you got to try to do. But that's the thing, you know, you're doing it and you're doing it. You got to do it until you get comfortable enough to be who you are. A guy said this to me when I was about 3 or 4 years in. He said, stand-up comedy is one of those art forms you have to disrespect before you can respect it. And it took me a couple of years to figure out what he was talking about. You know, I was like, but what he meant was that it's about you giving yourself permission to suck so you then can be great. Because if you're trying, you know, you have to give yourself permission to get better. You're not going to be great when you do it. But if you're going at it and or also you're saying, oh, I'll write this, the audience will think this is funny, that's not the way you write. If I didn't think it's funny, I'm not saying it. I'm expressing my sense of humor, and hopefully I'm striking chords in the audience and expressing their sense of humor as well, just for me. But I mean, that takes a lot of guys a tough time to find. I watched Carlin on the old Later show with Bob Costas. I mean, he struggled finding it with the stuff he was doing. I mean, he begged to be fired, and you know, it's a process. You know, you do 1,500 things wrong before you find the right thing, but you got to find your voice. And I was talking with this about somebody the other day, how all the comics that, like, you know, I like and admire, like, you know, Bill Burr and you know, Doug Stanhope and David Tell, and these guys are all in their 40s now. They're doing some of the best work. Jimmy Norton. I mean, you know, these guys are doing, you know, because it takes you that long. I mean, to get good enough where you actually have enough life experience, you have something to say, and now you got the guts to say it the way you want to say it. So, I mean, but
so there was a period when you were first starting out where you would say something on stage that you didn't particularly
dude,
think
I used to go on stage as the humorator, comic from the 21st century.
No.
And yeah, dude, yeah. I wore a long trench coat, and I had glasses, and I had these 2 red glitter things I would put on my eyes.
I need to see this.
So yeah, thankfully there's no tape of that. Thank God. But it was, yeah. I did that for a couple of years. So tell me about it. Yeah, you'll do everything wrong. What'll happen is you'll have done so much shit wrong that eventually you go, I found it now. Like fucking Edison with that light bulb. I got it. Yeah. I mean, fucked around 1,500 times. Good for you. You got the light bulb now, but that's what happens. That's true. It just takes a while, you know. And you know, you go through your phases. I'm also always thankful that I can do this. I'm always thankful I can make my living doing it, you know. for 25 years, which I think is being really successful to be able to do that. I mean, that alone puts you in an elite category. I think is just being able to make your living for 25 years doing something. That's pretty good. I talked to Dom Irera. We were in Ireland working, and on the way back, Dom said, because my mom and dad had come over, and he said to me, he goes, "Hey, I wonder if your parents realize how tough it was for you to do what you've done." And I go, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "All right, let me give you an example. How many famous baseball players you know?" And I said, "Well, there's 32 teams, 25-man rosters, give or take. That's 750 guys." "Yeah, exactly." He goes, "The NHL, it's about 650, and the NBA is a little less than that, about 350. And of course the NFL, that's about 1,553 guys, or whatever the deal is." So he goes, "No, how many comedians can you name that are alive and doing stand-up comedy at a high level that you like and respect?" And I said, "Well, Jesus, I could probably name 70 guys, 75 guys." He goes, "I bet you together we'd come up with 125 guys. There's a few names that probably cross over." I go, "Okay, great." He goes, "Yeah." So he says, statistically, if you think about it, Jimmy, you have a tougher time becoming a famous comedian than you do a famous baseball player, or, I mean, and I never thought about it in those terms before, but I went, holy shit, you're right. I mean, that makes so much sense. You have a better chance to become a famous baseball player than you do a famous comedian, and I got news for you. It's really, really, really tough to become a professional baseball player.
Let's do March Madness on comedians. All right, we're starting the sheet.
You're gonna start bracket. You're gonna start bracket. Yeah.
Well, this is a great moment to ask you if you would help us out with our segment we call Punch It Up.
You know what's funny? I love when people have me on a podcast. They just fucking ask one question and then shut the fuck up for 25 minutes.
We want to sap your
And I
advice.
can't stop flapping my cake on. And I'll tell you another thing. And I'll tell you another thing. Who gave me coffee? That's what I want to know. Jesus Christ, this microphone I'm on smells like a middle-axe asshole. Holy shit. Let's spray this
Come
thing
on,
down,
come on.
right?
To get more,
Yes, let's
they
do it.
have to
Let's do
come
it.
on
Let's
Friday
do it.
and
Let's
see
do it.
you.
Let's
Friday,
do it.
March
Yes,
21st.
that's true.
So this segment we call Punch It Up. We ask a couple comics to come on and do their best 3 minutes for you.
I get to be a judge?
And then you're going to give them some feedback when they're done, and maybe I'll chime in a little too. And is
All
that
right,
cool?
that's
And
fine.
We're going to
That's
see if we can
great.
punch it up a little, right?
All right, let's punch it up a little bit. Let's
right.
play Punch It Up a Little Bit.
Joshua.
All right, let's keep it going for Zach James.
All right, Zach.
Hello. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Good.
How's it going with you?
I lost my voice last night. Too much whiskey and Irish drinking. It's all right, though. I fell on my face on my way home. Wake-up call. It was good. Scars everywhere. It's all right, though. It's okay. I'll live. I get called Bruno Mars every, 8 times a day. It's a real thing for me. And I don't get it, because I'm not Puerto Rican in any way, and I'm not Filipino. I'm just 100% half black, guys. That's where I live. That's where I live, in that zone. But I think what the most crazy thing is, like, as a mixed baby, there's lots of stuff I can't do. Like, I tried signing up for blackpeoplemeet.com. They had mixed feelings about me joining. Request denied. I don't know. I think I'm a little bit racist towards black people. Like, I serve tables as well, and like the other night, like a group of black people come in, I'm like, oh fuck, I hate niggers. Jesus. I can't even say, like, black guys are like, yo, what up, my nigga? And I can't say it, because when I say it, it sounds really racist. It's like, yo, what up, my nigga? I think that's crazy, though. From one of those gangster places in the world, it might come as a surprise to you, Canada. Y'all don't know what it's like growing up with healthcare, first of all. Scary shit. Scary shit. I get it, America and stuff, I get it. There's drive-bys, there's shootings, people will get scared. Like, you get down when that shit happens. In Canada, though, guys, we have bears. They're absolutely everywhere. I know, you guys probably don't think this is a scary thing, but you can't even buy guns in Canada. The government's like, no, I know there's bears out there, okay? Hey, but here's a knife. Hope you survive. The craziest thing, though, is, like, people always compare, like when I say that, like, the LA riots. Like, the LA riots are a real thing, bro. Guys, Bear Scare of '97, okay? Hundreds of people killed. Thousands of picnic baskets gone forever. Yeah. My girlfriend recently told me that I was only in the relationship for the sex. And I said, baby, sex is just the icing on the cake. And as we all know, cake ain't shit without icing. So I'm single. It's good. Hey, Reggie. You ever tell someone that you believe in aliens? And then they tell you that they also believe in aliens, and why? And then you no longer fucking believe in aliens. Like what they had just said. So ridiculous. So ridiculous. We did 3 minutes?
You can do 2 minutes if you want.
I can keep going. No, it's fine.
You good?
Yeah.
All right, Ed, give us some applause. All right, Zach Brown, come over here, bring that microphone.
You always use like my slave name.
I do?
I hate me.
What's the slave name?
Oh, it's not my slave name. I'm just joking. It's like my real name is Zachary James Brown. I don't know. I think my first like year or two into moving here, I changed it to just Zach James. I don't know why. I just did it. I changed all my headshots, and I was just like, yeah, let's stick with it.
How long you been doing comedy, Zach?
About 3.5 years.
All right. So he's
Still.
halfway to or quarter of the way to the 9, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
9 years.
Yeah, it's funny because you did a joke about aliens, like yes, but there is so much more in that premise. Why do you believe in aliens? You didn't explain that.
Okay.
Why you believe in aliens? Oh no, I saw this thing.
Yeah.
Or I read this book and I couldn't even finish it because it scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I like, I always see guys do that. They come up with a great joke or a great premise, and they one joke it, and they're off to something else.
Yeah.
I go, man, there's 10 more jokes there. There's 10 more jokes there. Furthermore, I wouldn't use the N-word in your act.
Okay.
Okay, if it's offensive when I say it, it's offensive when you say it.
Okay.
Ethnically, nobody owns that word. It's just a creepy word.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Completely.
It's like saying it's like using the C word or the fag word. And I was making fun of that earlier, but it offends people's delicate sensibilities and it makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's a double standard. So I would lose that. I mean, there's another way to go. Blackpeople.com. Did you do blackpeople.com?
Yeah.
You were on that. Talk about what that experience is like.
Okay.
I mean, you brought it up. You never talked about it.
Okay.
Go into that. So I went to blackpeople.com, which is not a free website.
No.
No, but there's other free websites out there. It's not a free website, but once you've dealt with,
But if you subscribe for 12 years.
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, it's funny. People always go.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's funny as people complain about the men they meet or the women they meet on free dating sites. Like, you get what you fucking pay for.
Yeah.
At least know if you're on Match.com, the chick's got $30 a month to shell out for to become a serial dater. There's 3 types of people on blackpeople.com. There's 3 kinds of chicks you're gonna meet on Black People. I mean, go into detail. There's this chick, there's that. You know what I mean? And talk about, because I know, because I just seen the chick that wants a free meal. It's a great place to meet people if you want to meet with a friend. And I always because I'm a busy professional. I don't have time to meet women. Look, I'm a busy professional. I fly all over the fucking world. All I do is meet people. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm a busy professional. All I do is meet fucking people. You just happen to be a fucking asshole. It's like somebody travels with a therapy cat. The cat's the only thing that will hang out with you because you have no fucking human skills able to interact. But I mean, go into detail about these things. Okay. God is in the details, man. Well, what kind of thing was it? Well, it was a purple. What color was it? It was a fucking purple fucking Miata. It was a purple Miata. With a fucking, go into detail. That shit, the details. God's in the details when it comes to funny. That's what makes it funny. I mean, you have good stage presence, and like that. You're real likable, and everybody calls you fucking Bruno Mars because you look like fucking Bruno Mars. And if you don't come up with a goddamn Bruno Mars impersonation, you're fucking missing the boat. I come out with the fucking hat. I'd fucking have the guy bring you up to Bruno Mars music. And then I would do a little, hey, and go, yeah, I hate that motherfucker. He's ruined my life. But I just look like Bruno Mars. The dude said, no, fucking Bruno Mars looks like me. I've been rocking this shit longer than he has. Look at that. No, but anyway, yeah, That's it.
Oh, great. I mean, it's funny what Jimmy was saying about the aliens and how to sort of point out. I actually thought, like on your mixed baby stuff, this is just a way to maybe try it differently. Remember, comedy's about complaints, right? So you said there's a lot of things I can't do, but what about all the things you can do? Like in a way, like, but you reverse it, like you did with the bear scare.
Yeah.
Like you don't, that was a nice way to structure the joke because it was very sarcastic, but really you have to believe it too. I'm just gonna, and this very early on, don't do your impression of a stand-up comedian, but it has to come really from.
That joke was written because I had one of my best friends was attacked by a bear as a kid.
Who wasn't?
Listen to this. Listen.
Who wasn't?
Yeah, awesome.
I was attacked by a bear.
Right.
Fucked him up.
Yeah, I went bear hunting once.
Did you really?
Yeah, you know what you do to go bear hunting?
And then the bear came up to you and said, "You're not
Right.
here to hunt, are you?" All I had to do was the punchline. All I had to do was the punchline for that joke. You're not out here to hunt, are you?
You're welcome.
All right, yeah. But she's right. I would say like anything you're talking about, if it's aliens, Google that shit and read as much
so
about
easy
aliens
now.
as much as you can Google about aliens. How many fucking bear attacks are there in Canada? What's the statistics
Give
of
it
the
to us.
survival rates? You give me 20 facts, I'll give you 20 jokes.
Okay.
You give me 20 facts, I'll give you 20 jokes. That's what I say to people. And you want to know this? I'm going to tell you something else right now. A guy told me this a long time ago, and it's a fucking brilliant idea. When you're writing, read a newspaper from cover to cover every day. I don't care if it's the Washington Post, the LA Times, the Wall Street Journal. Read the newspaper every day, cover to cover. Because then you'll know exactly what's going on in the world. You'll be able to talk to anybody about anything because you know what's going on in the world, which will also help your writing, which will also help everything. Get up every day. Do it for a month, 30 days straight. Just read the newspaper cover to cover. And then you'll fucking know everything that's going on in the world. You know the difference between the Shiites and the Sunnis. You'll know all that stuff that you can use them in references in your act, and you'll be able to go and talk with them. It'll change the way you talk to people because you know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I always say it's the information is what you turn into jokes, and also what how you personally feel about it or how it affects you personally. All right, class dismissed.
Oh, okay, that was great advice. We were just seeing if we had our other comment, but we.
I think he's a notion.
So good, we can give Zach just a little more time. The only other thing I had, I liked the growing up with healthcare, and what I was saying about the believability was just to try and, like, when you went into the story about your friend, that the way you were speaking there, I mean, I know it's, you may not
put that in a
see
bit.
it. Yeah.
Put that in a bit. My
You
friend
wanna
got
hear the
attacked
truth.
by a bear.
Yes, exactly. Just bring in, don't be afraid to bring in the authenticity.
Personalize it, but you also have artistic license as well. You have, it's
That's the blend.
Like I said, the cat therapy bit, I'm not going to do it for you, but all that happened was I got on an airplane and a lady had a cat on the airplane in a bag. But that turned into a 4-minute bit about a therapy cat, and I just took artistic license, and sure enough, people see enough medical alert dogs and therapy cats, and what's next? People get on the plane with a fucking fish aquarium. Yeah, fish, calm me down! Fish, calm me down! So travel with a 32-gallon aquarium. Is our next comedian here?
No, but Josh, do you have anything you want to say to Zach?
Yes, I think Jimmy was talking about how you had the premise and there's like one punchline and then moving on, and that's something I fall in that trap too. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if part of it is because we're living in an era of Twitter. Living in an era of Twitter, and we're coming up in an era of you have 3 minutes or 5 minute sets. Yeah. And my thought is, don't be afraid to spend 3 minutes or 5 minutes on one topic. Okay. You don't have to try to cover the whole world. You can take. Don't be afraid to take time with just one of those things. And I have to remind myself of that as well.
Yeah, Shubert does that brilliantly, actually.
Yeah,
you can come and see on Friday, March 21st.
Yeah, if you come here, you'll see. You'll see, and I won't be wearing pants. It's going to be a special Friday night show. No, I will be wearing a suit, though. I will be wearing one of those suits I had made in Hong Kong.
Well, Zach, I hope that was helpful for you.
Helpful.
Thank you so much. Give it up for Zach Brown. Zach James Brown? What am I calling you?
Keep using the slave name.
Brown.
I love how a guy in Canada goes, you keep using my slave name.
Yeah.
Right, get over it. All right?
So, wow, thank you, Jimmy. That was very helpful, I think. Some great advice in there. Reading the newspaper. Oh, my God. Everyone should read the newspaper.
No, but I just think
it really is.
Because you, like... You know,
unless it's Fox News. Don't read that.
Then don't read, yeah.
Now, why would you say something like that? It's such a fucking douchebag thing to say. Why would you fucking limit your information sources? They happen to be the largest news information source in the world. I mean, to say that shows how fucking ignorant you really are. Because CNN, the fuck, if I want to know what fucking Gus thinks of Minneapolis on the Facebook post, I'll fucking call Gus in Minneapolis. What I'd like you to do is to report the fucking news. But people say that shit all the time. It's fucking ignorant. It's ignorant, actually. I think Fox does a great job of covering the news. They have a little bit of a right slant, like MSNBC has a little bit of a left slant. Okay? And if you watch ABC, CBS, and NBC, you're fucked as well, because that news slants the other way.
So either way, just watch all the news.
No,
and then you'll
just
get
fucking go to the Drudge Report and read the fucking Drudge Report and read your fucking news, or go to BBC Americas. But actually, I think Fox does a hell of a job reporting the news. They're the #1 news organization in the country. I mean, shit, there are CNN, their viewership is sinking. Their viewership is emptier to the stands at a WNBA game.
Can I say now that I feel horribly guilty about slandering Fox News?
Well, no, you know the thing is, it's just something to fucking say. Do you really believe that? Do you even watch Fox News? Let me ask you a question. Do you watch Fox News?
I know, because I've heard so many bad things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, then you're a low information motherfucker. Why would you let people tell you what you could watch? Because I've heard negative things. What, by fucking negative people who are fucking uneducated as well? Why would you let them fucking put you in that fucking corner and watch it? Watch it if you want to fucking say something bad about it. You know, if it doesn't appeal to you, then it doesn't appeal to you. But why would you say that? You're just repeating something you heard everybody else fucking say. So, you're a fucking parrot.
Or an American.
Or an American.
Unfortunately, right?
Well, you know, I mean, you could say the same thing about MSNBC. You could say the same thing about all the major news sources. I just think it's fucking ridiculously ignorant to fucking say, well, you know, who are you going to MSNBC's better? Should I watch MSNBC for my news?
Yes.
Who said that?
The fucking douchebag back there with the ponytail smoking fucking pot, collecting unemployment. That guy.
Oh, all right. So Jimmy Shubert at his finest.
Well, I just thought we'd go out on a fucking, you know, I was very well behaved long enough.
Yes, you were.
Well, listen, you know, he hasn't even watched it.
Well, he is a virgin, Jimmy.
You just,
remember?
Well, fuck.
He's.
I'm going to fucking take him out. I'm going to get him a hooker tonight.
Yeah.
I don't hear this virgin shit anymore. All right?
All right.
It's a dick. Learn how to use it. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Get a hold of yourself, man. It's a penis. You're fucking putting your best sperm into a fucking sock. Come on.
Are you?
I don't use socks.
Oh.
I have a different method. But
Okay, so Jimmy Shubert is here on Friday, March 21st, 8 and 10 o'clock, one night only. Don't miss it. Come down here. Don't sit in the front row. And don't say you like Fox News. All right. No, seriously, Jimmy. Jimmy is so fun to watch, and you can also, your website is?
JimmyShubert.com.
Yes.
And we may have some very, very, very big news coming up here soon, but if I do, I'll come back and tell it on the podcast, but I can't talk about it now.
Yeah, but big stuff happening for Jimmy, and you have a CD?
I do. I have a DVD, a CD. I got 3 CDs. 3 CDs filled with hilarious comedy. I got a DVD called Alive and Kickin', which is out on iTunes and also on my website. You can order from my website as well.
And are you on the Twitter?
I am on the Twitter.
And your handle is?
At Jimmy Shubert.
Oh.
It's all Jimmy Shubert. It's Shubert with no C. It's Shubert. You know, unless you're watching Fox News. Then it's SCHUBERT.
All right, give it up for Jimmy Shubert.
Right,
wait, don't leave yet. We just have to make a few more announcements. Claremont.
Ty Rivera will be there this weekend.
Yes, also very opinionated. Ty Rivera. And Matt Kirshen is in our Yoo-Hoo room this week. And also don't forget to download our Flap app. It's free for the Android and iPhone, and we put celebrity alerts on there. So when we have our news about Shubert, we'll let you know. And what else am I missing? Please go to our website, flapperscomedy.com, for the latest schedule. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today on the FlappCast. All right, Josh, next week, you're not going to be a virgin anymore.
Probably not, but thank you.